Hello, and welcome to episode 11 of the Little Decisions podcast. I'm your host, Victoria Cooper. Today's episode is called Ask for Help. And be prepared because I'm going to practice what I preach and ask you for some help throughout this episode. Asking for help isn't easy, and as I found out through the question of the week, it can make some people uncomfortable. I can't wait to share all that I have in store for you today. So let's get started. Housekeeping is up next. Since today's episode is titled Ask for Help, here I go. You see, I want more people to discover this podcast. I'm working hard to spread the word myself, doing things like tabling at the Marigold Market most Saturdays, scouring Instagram for potential new listeners, but I need your help too. If you have been a regular listener to this podcast, please take a moment to submit a review. These are not only very meaningful to me personally, but these also help with search engine optimization metrics and help me better improve the show as well. I want you to help build this show with me. If you're not a regular listener, that's okay. Please just take a moment to subscribe now, wherever you are listening. It's usually a little plus sign or a check mark on the main podcast page. If you have trouble finding it or any of this, reach out to me either through direct message on any social media platform or by emailing me directly at littledecisionspodcast@gmail.com. And I'll happily walk you through how to subscribe, rate, and review this podcast. One more ask, because I tend to do things in threes. Can you also post about this podcast on your own social media? However you want, through a mention or maybe adding a post of mine to your own story. It doesn't matter how. That would really help in getting new people to see that this wonderful opportunity is here, where they can hear about the kindness and the kind work local community leaders and others are doing to make Athens and Winterville a better place. And that's housekeeping. Ask for help and kindness. How exactly do these things go together? There are so many ways these two topics intersect, it honestly almost overwhelms me on where to start. So, I'll start with me and offer a very personal story, and some may even say a confession. A few years ago, I was suffering in all aspects of my life, and yet refused to simply go to my friends and loved ones to ask for help. I knew deep down they would help me, that they would and did still love me. But you see, I didn't love myself. So I waited and waited, continuing to be unkind to myself and everyone around me until almost everything and everyone was gone. Finally, one day I broke down and said through gritted teeth 2 words that changed my life. Help me. And that surrender, it was the most powerful thing I have ever done for myself. You see, everyone has their demons to slay, their battles to fight, but we foolishly believe we must win them on our own, as if that were any prize to be won in the first place. My monster was addiction, and I'll admit that it is still a little scary to say that out loud, yet alone record it and share it with the world. But that's my truth, and that's why this episode means so much to me. September 14th was National Sober Day, and my interview with Matt Tuberville being scheduled to release today felt too coincidental to miss this moment. My podcast is not a recovery podcast, and I have no plans to change it into one. It has and always will be about kindness. We need kindness in all areas of our lives, and sometimes that comes in the form of a question. How can I ask for help? That's words matter. For this week's question of the week, I wanted to take a different approach. Since it had been a few weeks since I had a question of the week at the Marigold Market or online, I decided to go deep. So that you can play along at home, here are the 3 true-false questions for this episode. Question 1. It's easy for me to ask for help when I need it. True, false, it's 50-50, or other. Question 2. Asking for help is a kindness for yourself. True, false, no answer, or other. And question 3. There is something I should ask for help with now that I am not. True, false, no answer, or other. What do you think about these questions? Did they get you thinking like they did some at the Marigold Market? Well, here are the results for the question of the week this week. For number 1, it's easy for me to ask for help when I need it. The majority of the responders answered true. For numero dos, most respondees agreed that yes, asking for help is a kindness for yourself. And for number 3, there is something I should ask for help with now that I am not. Most answered false. And that's question of the week. Here are 5 quotes that I hope give you inspiration and hope. Number 1, kindness is the golden chain by which society is bound together. Johann Wolfgang van Gogh. Number 2, be careful how you are talking to yourself because you are listening. Lisa M. Hayes. Number 3, giving yourself some loving attention isn't selfish, it's sensible. If you feel loved and cherished, even if it's only by yourself, you'll have more love to give others. Penelope Quest. Number 4, we are all of us stars, and we all deserve to twinkle. Marilyn Monroe. And number 5, it is one of the great secrets of life that those things which are most worth doing, we do for ourselves. Lewis Carroll. And that's quotes. For this week's calendar time, I wanted to start internationally. September is International Update Your Resume Month, so stop putting it off and go ahead and do it. We both know it doesn't take that long, and all you have to do is think in action items and bullet points, kind of like the titles of these episodes. September is also National Courtesy Month. According to my favorite website, nationaldaycalendar.com, quote, it takes little effort to extend kindness. The entire month of September gives ample opportunity to practice being kind. It's National Courtesy Month. The word courteous comes from the Middle English word kindness, which means noble deeds or courtesy. One of the greatest novelists in the English language, Henry James, once said, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. The third is to be kind. So what does it mean to be courteous? Courtesy can mean several things to different people. To some, being courteous means being helpful. To others, being courteous means being polite and having good manners. Courtesy can be words spoken or actions towards someone. Courtesy is about manners and respect. How you choose to show someone courtesy is entirely up to you. End quote. September 21st is the 3rd Tuesday in September, so it's National IT Professionals Day. Shout out to all the IT folks working hard out there, including my partner in crime, Micah. September 19th is Talk Like a Pirate Day. That's a personal favorite of mine. In local calendar news, as of this recording, AthFest, which was scheduled for September 24th through the 26th, is still canceled. I will still be releasing my interviews with artist Kevin Cardone and rapper Squale the Thursday before in honor of their hard work in both having planned to appear at AthFest this year. So that's at least something. And lastly, there will be a vaccine drive this Saturday the 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Front Porch Bookstore. And lastly, there will be a vaccine drive this Saturday the 18th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Front Porch Bookstore in Winterville. There will be live music and live podcasting going on. I have some one-of-a-kind fun things planned for this event, and it will be a great way to get on the podcast, if that interests you at all. Questions? Email councilwomanmooney, that's councilwoman, MOONEY, @gmail.com for more information, except on the podcasting. You can ask me on that. And that's calendar time.
The animals in the story, she wants to help them with their problem.
For this week's Kindness in Practice, I spoke with local author and artist Jadin Fielteau. I discovered Jadin through a recent post by the mayor of Athens, Kelly Kritz, on his Instagram page. Jadin isn't my typical interviewee. To start, she is a published author at only 14. She published her first book, while starting the 9th grade. How cool is that? I don't know about you, but I wasn't doing anything like that when I was her age. So go Jadin. Her graphic novel is titled The Woodlander, and the link to Jadin's Instagram and Etsy shop where you can buy the book are both linked in the show notes. Before I share my interview with Jadin, here is a review of The Woodlander submitted on September 5th by Catherine Edison. Catherine writes of The Woodlander, quote, "This is a fun fantasy/nature story by a talented young author. Told in graphic novel form, the author really got me involved in the story, and I can't wait for the next episode to come out. The illustrations are artistic and well done, and the quality of the book is excellent. 5 stars." End quote. At the time of this report, Jadin have had over 30 sales already. Please enjoy my interview with one of Athens' newest authors, Jadin Fielteau.
Okay, I am Jadin, and I'm 14.
All right. And what grade are you in, Jadin?
9th.
Wow, can you tell me a little bit about your graphic novel, Woodlander?
It's about a girl who finds a whole other world in her backyard, or the ancestors of different animals. He becomes the leader of these animals.
So what is your main character's first name?
Admarie. Admarie.
Now, did you do all the drawings yourself?
Yes.
Wow, that must have taken you a long time, did it?
Yeah, it took about a year to finish everything.
Wow, that's crazy. That's a very big commitment. I am very impressed.
Thank you.
Also think that I just don't have the commitment to writing a book like that. So kudos to you for being able to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. So what inspired you to write the book?
Well, I've had this story in my head for a longer time than I started the book. But my dad actually got into doing the actual book.
Oh, that's very sweet. Oh, that's good. Do you mind me asking how he did that?
Well, he just said he think I was ready to do something with my art. So he said I should do a book. So I chose this story.
Oh, wow. That's wonderful. Well, kudos to your dad for encouraging you to explore your art like that. That's wonderful.
Thank you.
Now, was it cool meeting the Athens mayor?
Yeah, it was. We talked a little bit about my book and how I made it, and it was really cool seeing like he actually liked my book and wanted to read it, and that was fun.
What can we expect from you next? Is there something you're working on next?
Well, I hope that I've had some ideas already, but I hope that I could make a second book to this story.
Oh, good. So you're going to make it a series?
Yeah.
Oh, that would be great. Wonderful. Well, I look forward to seeing the next one then.
Thank you.
Before we leave each other today, I want to tell you that along with this episode, I released my interview with Matt Tuberville from Flowerland of Athens. This interview expands on some things I mentioned already in this episode, so I suggest you go have a listen if you haven't already. And lastly, if you or someone you know needs help with their own demons, whatever they may be, please find a way to create a kind space where someone can ask for help. There is so much power and love and kindness in the gesture of asking for help. I hope that everyone who needs it may find it. As always, my loves, pineapple with care.